Well, we're back for another Life Skills, and we're really glad you're tuning in and you're paying attention, and we really are seeing more and more people starting to watch these, and there's some great information, and we're really excited about that. Today we're going to talk about health, not only physical health, like nutrition, but mental health and keeping places clean. That all keeps us healthy. And what I've found over the years is that the more I work on taking care of myself, the better life is. If I'm healthier, I feel good. If I'm spending time mentally thinking about the right things, that makes me enjoy the day as well. I have to start every morning by spending some time reading, and I take a walk, and I do some prayers and those type of things, and that's what keeps me strong. And I want to encourage you to create that discipline if you don't have it. Do some reading. I remember years ago I had a boss that told all of the people that work for him they should be reading 50 books a year, and my first reaction was like, that's ridiculous. How can you read 50 books a year? That's impossible. And I started thinking about that challenge, and what he was saying to us was, start feeding your mind, start feeding your life with good, positive stuff. So I started thinking, okay, I'm going to take that challenge on, and he had said, read different types of books, autobiographies, science books, religious books, whatever. And I have done that through the years, and there's been some really cool stuff that I've gotten out of that has really shaped me into who I am today. So I want to encourage you, do what you need to do to take care of yourself. Eat the right stuff, get plenty of sleep, read the right stuff. Just do the things that will build you into an amazing person. Now, we already know you are, but why not keep building on that? So enjoy this Life Skills, and we'll see you next week.
Hi guys, my name is Charlotte. I am a nutritionist here in Southern Oregon, and today I'm going to be talking to you about some of the basic concepts around nutrition. Let's be honest, the world of nutrition is very complicated. It feels like there's new information coming out every day, new diets, new dietary recommendations. So I really want to help you guys focus on some of the basics, particularly blood sugar. So first, we want to ask ourselves, what does healthy eating look like? How can I eat in a way that's going to support my optimal health, so my best health? And then how can I eat in a way that's also going to support my energy, my mood, my immune system, and that blood sugar that we're going to talk about? So first and foremost, I really want to talk about blood sugar, or what you might also hear called glucose. So what is blood sugar? Blood sugar is truly sugar circulating in your bloodstream at any given time. So let's say I eat a meal, my body's going to break that down into blood sugar or glucose, and my blood sugar is going to spike. I'm going to have all this blood sugar circulating in my bloodstream. So let's start with the morning here. Let's say I woke up, hypothetically have not eaten anything since dinner the night before. My blood sugar is going to be very low. So let's say I have this for breakfast. We have 8 ounces of orange juice, 2 pancakes, some maple syrup, and then coffee with sugar in it. And while that sounds like a delicious breakfast and is fine in moderation, majority of what we're getting from that is sugar and simple carbohydrates. Simple carbohydrates from the pancakes and lots of sugar from the maple syrup, the sugar in our coffee, and then the sugar in that orange juice. So I eat that in the morning, my blood sugar is very low, and all of a sudden my blood sugar is going to spike because my body breaks that down very quickly. So I go from very low blood sugar to very high blood sugar. And this takes my body from a sort of relaxed state to a very stressful state. And a couple things are going to happen here when we have high blood sugar. First off, we are going to see lots of insulin be released. So insulin is that hormone we hear about with diabetes, right? Insulin's number one job is to help the body clear out blood sugar. So my blood sugar spikes, my pancreas is going to release that insulin, and that insulin is going to tell my body we need to clear this sugar out. And there are a couple ways that my body does that. First, it can store that blood sugar or glucose in my muscle cells. It can also store it in my liver cells and then in my fat cells. But unfortunately, my muscle cells and my liver cells can only hold so much blood sugar at any given time. So the majority of my blood sugar is going to be stored as fat in my fat cells. And unfortunately, the potential for that storage is pretty much unlimited. So that's where we see people really struggling with weight loss, struggling to get rid of those pounds, right? And also gaining weight. So high blood sugar, we're going to see lots of insulin released. We're going to see a lot of fat storage. We also will oftentimes see mood swings, so a little bit of crankiness, right? And then difficulty concentrating. So maybe I'm at work or I'm at school. I'm just not probably going to be able to focus as well. My mind might be racing. My thoughts might be all over the place. And then what's going to happen, right? What goes up must come down. So I'm going to go from very high blood sugar, probably pretty quickly, to very low blood sugar. And so I have that crash, and that low blood sugar is another stressful state. So I go from one stressful state, high blood sugar, to another stressful state, low blood sugar. And with that low blood sugar, we're going to see a couple of things as well. First, we're going to see a lot of cortisol being released. Cortisol is that stress hormone, very important in certain situations, but we definitely don't want it released in chronic amounts or constantly being released. So when we are in low blood sugar, our body's going to release a lot of cortisol. Cortisol, unfortunately, in high amounts has been linked to numerous health conditions, particularly inflammation in the body. So we want to watch out for that. Another thing with low blood sugar is that we're going to see a sudden hunger, right? That sudden ravenous hunger where we just need something. I'll reach for whatever I can grab, but I need to eat. Oftentimes, again, we're going to see that crankiness, that hangriness we hear about, and then also difficulty concentrating again, just like with high blood sugar. So this is the blood sugar roller coaster. Really, really easy to get trapped on it. I wake up in the morning, eat a not super balanced breakfast, spike my blood sugar. Pretty soon after, I crash. Super hungry all of a sudden, probably going to reach for something that's not the best and get right back on that blood sugar roller coaster. So what we want to shoot for instead is this balanced blood sugar, which we can see is a lot smoother, a lot steadier. I like to call it the blood sugar gondola ride because it's very smooth, right? A few turns here and there, but overall it's very consistent. So let's look at this breakfast. This is what we would consider a more balanced breakfast. So here I have water, hydration, very important, right? Particularly when you first wake up. We have an egg on there, great source of protein, great source of healthy fat. We've got half of an avocado, again, excellent source of fat, vitamins, minerals, particularly potassium. We're also going to have a slice of whole grain toast. So there's a carb on your plate, right? But whole grain is going to give you what we would consider a more complex carbohydrate. I'm going to break it down a little bit slower, particularly when I pair it with that fat and protein from the egg and the avocado. Then I have some strawberries on there, about a half a cup. Great way to get more fiber, vitamins, minerals, and also get that sweet sensation. I have a sweet tooth. I love fruit. And then I have coffee on here with some whole milk in it, 2 tablespoons. Again, providing me with a little bit of fat, gonna slow down that breakdown, slow down that blood sugar spike. So rather than seeing that sudden spike, we're going to see a much steadier and more gradual climb in our blood sugar. And that should hold us over through the morning, right? Our energy levels should be pretty stable. Lunchtime rolls around, we get that natural hunger sensation, hopefully reach for something pretty balanced, and that carries us on through the afternoon and into dinner, right? So we really want that stable energy, that smooth blood sugar. And what we'll see here is a couple of things with balanced blood sugar. We're going to see adequate amounts of insulin being released, not too much, not too little. We're also going to see decreased fat storage. We don't have a ton of blood sugar that we need to store, right? We'll also see steady mood, so not that hangriness, that crankiness, and concentration is going to be a lot better too. We'll be able to focus a little bit more. So what we're trying to go from is this to this, right? Our balanced blood sugar. And the best way to do that is to look at what is on our plate, right? What are we putting into our body? So this graph is a really nice breakdown of what a well-balanced plate should look like. So you can see here, half of the plate is reserved for vegetables. Again, we've talked about this and we'll talk about it a little bit more, but great source of fiber, vitamins, minerals. It's going to help keep me full longer. I have a quarter of the plate here reserved for protein. We'll talk about this a little bit more too, but use your palm as a really good tool for measuring out a portion of protein. And then we have a portion for healthy fats, we have a portion for healthy carbohydrates, and a portion for some healthy fruit options. Fruit, again, great way to get that sweet sensation and satisfy that sweet tooth. So things to focus on: lean protein, whole grains, fibrous vegetables, and then some healthier fat options. Let's break this down a little bit more. So here I have some info on vegetables. I really encourage you to focus on a wide range of colors. That's going to provide us with what we call phytonutrients. They are the chemical compounds in vegetables and fruit that have some of the best health benefits. So shoot for lots of different colors. You're going to get lots of different phytonutrients that way. I also really encourage you to go for fibrous vegetables. That fiber, like I said, is going to help with that satiety, keeping you full longer. And it's also going to help with regularity in terms of going to the bathroom, which we can all appreciate. So some top fibrous vegetables to go for: Broccoli, carrots, leafy greens, think kale, spinach. Artichokes are wonderful. We have asparagus on there, squash, all great choices, all excellent sources of fiber. Next, we have our protein, right? I mentioned using your palm as a tool for protein. Shoot for about 4 to 6 ounces because let's be real, I can go to a grocery store, get a chicken breast that's like this big. Might seem like a great deal, but it's not really a single serving. So focus on that 4 to 6 ounce serving. Protein's really important because it provides us with what are called the essential amino acids. So I eat protein, my body breaks it down into those amino acids. They're kind of considered the building blocks of the body. Essential amino acids are amino acids that I cannot produce in my body, so I have to get them through my diet. So again, a really important reason to incorporate healthy, lean protein with your meals, and I also really encourage you to incorporate them into your snacks too, right? They're going to help keep us full longer and keep those energy levels good. So protein for snacks is really important. And then if you're a vegetarian, you choose to not eat meat, dairy products, you can still get your protein. I encourage you to focus on what we would call complete proteins. So potatoes actually are considered complete proteins. They contain all the essential aminos. Quinoa, great source of those essential amino acids. And then the other thing you can do is what's called food combining. So maybe I take something like brown rice and I pair it with a legume, so black beans. That pairing is considered a complete protein. All the essential amino acids are in there. So even if you're vegetarian, even if you're vegan, you can still get that quality protein. Next, we have our healthy fats, right? So fat really has been villainized for a while, but we've found that there are actually a lot of health benefits around fat. I definitely encourage you to watch your consumption or minimize your consumption of trans fats and hydrogenated vegetable oils. Those are primarily found in baked goods, fried foods, ready-made foods, think like potato chips, convenience foods like that. So just watch that consumption. But other than that, fats, again, very important, particularly for vitamin absorption. We have what are called the fat-soluble vitamins. Those vitamins need fat to be absorbed properly. So if you think about it from that standpoint, we really need healthy fat in the diet. And then again, fat is very good for healthy energy levels and that satiety, that fullness. So some good choices are going to be things like butter, coconut oil. I love avocado or avocado oil as well. Cream, eggs, and then we have olive oil on there as well. So some really good choices, and let's be honest, they make things taste better too. So healthy fats. This is an interesting graph to look at. It just looks at the obesity trends over the last several decades. What you can see here is that in the late 1970s, the low-fat dietary guidelines were introduced, and we were encouraged to really stay away from fat, go for low-fat, fat-free foods. But what this graph is showing is that contrary to what they probably thought was going to happen, those low-fat dietary guidelines were introduced and the obesity continued to climb in the United States. So rather than seeing a decrease in obesity with less fat consumption, we've seen an increase. So maybe pointing the finger at fat wasn't quite the right thing. So just an interesting thing to point out. Then we have carbohydrates on here. So I'm not an advocate for no carbs. Carbs are an important part of our diet. They give us important energy, all kinds of good stuff. But I do encourage you to focus on whole grains or more complex carbohydrates. They take a little bit longer to break down and they won't spike that blood sugar as much. Again, carbohydrates are a great way to meet additional calorie needs. So if you're someone who's really active, you're on your feet all day long, or you're an athlete, your calorie needs might be a little bit higher. Carbohydrates are a great way to get some of those extra calories in. Again, just focus on some of those whole grain choices. Rather than white rice, go for brown rice. Rather than white bread, go for whole grain bread. Simple switches like that. So those are our carbohydrates. And then what about supplements? So the question is always, right, should I take a supplement? I think supplements have a time and place here and there, but I think there are 3 core ones that I would recommend for most people. First being a multivitamin. Multivitamin is just a great way to fill in any nutritional gaps. I think vitamin D is a wonderful supplement to have as well. Vitamin D we typically get from the sun, but most of us aren't outside enough. We wear clothing, right? We're just not outside long enough to get all the vitamin D we need. So supplementing can be a great thing to do. And then the B vitamins as well. Particularly, again, if you're vegetarian or vegan, you're probably not getting a lot of the B vitamins, primarily found in meat So supplementing with the B vitamins can be a really smart thing to do, and they're great for energy production. So those B vitamins are going to help you feel good all day long. And that's what I have for you guys today. So I hope what you took away is just some of those basic concepts, focusing on what a balanced plate looks like. That healthy vegetable portion, that good protein, some fat, some carbohydrates, and maybe some fruit on there, right? That's going to provide us with optimal energy, optimal nutrition, and we're going to feel our best that way. Thank you.
What are you doing?
I'm going to eat these peppers, and I don't think I have enough ranch to get me through it.
Why are you eating peppers? You don't even like them.
Well, because I read on the interwebs that it helps prevent COVID.
No.
Not even green peppers?
Nope.
What about jalapenos?
Nope.
Some ghost peppers?
No. They don't prevent COVID.
Well, I thought Charlotte even mentioned that peppers are good for you.
Well, yeah, they're good for you. They've got lots of vitamins and other nutrients, and they're super good for you, but they don't prevent COVID.
Well, what prevents COVID?
Well, the best way to prevent COVID is to maintain social distance, which is about 6 feet apart. Make sure you wash. What are you doing?
You need to back up. 6 feet. There we go.
Good grief. Well, good job. So 6 feet apart. Make sure you wash your hands often and wash them really well. You might want to be wearing your mask. There you go. Good job. Those are the things that are going to keep you and other people safe. So if you don't want those peppers, I'll have them because I love peppers.
Let me pack them up for you. Do you want this?
Oops, 6 feet. Yeah, of course. Thanks. See ya.
Enjoy your lunch.
I will. Thank you.
Hi guys, it's Jessica, property manager here at Rogue Retreat. I wanted to touch base with you guys and talk a little bit about inspections, a little bit about COVID, and just to say hi, and I really miss you guys. So when it comes to your inspections and passing, there's a few things that Justin and I understand when we're doing inspections, such as there may be a dish or two in the sink. We get that. The things that we look for are, one, the smell. How does it smell? Is it, a good smell, bad smell? Open your windows, air things out. Especially with COVID, it's good to let some fresh air in and blow out the dormant air. Two, I know for me, I keep a thing of Clorox wipes handy, so when I go to Walmart, I wipe down my own cart, and I also use it for my phone and my hands. I clean my keys. Every time I go to Walmart, I clean my keys with their free hand wipes. So that's something that I like to do. I'm extra cautious now to, when I get home from work or the grocery, to go straight to the sink and wash my hands really, really good. And just, I have my little guy, we sing the alphabet because they say that's very helpful. So we do that. And then, again, I keep my surfaces wiped down. I keep those Clorox wipes at home and in my car. And so when I get home, I just wipe down the knobs, faucet handles, things like that. And I'm just real careful to be on it when it comes to that. Another big thing is vacuuming. They sell vacuums at Walmart for $35. We have a very nice Shark stick that was $200. And then when we rented our house, they left a small $35 vacuum cleaner in one of the closets because it was all new carpet. And I gotta say that $35 vacuum does better than our $200 vacuum. So crazy, but true. So, just try to vacuum regularly. Keep your dust down to a minimum. Be sure to check your filters and clean those. We really want those done every month. I know they're the filters that are $20 that you can keep for 3 months. That isn't really the best. Just spend your $2, get that little filter that's easy to change and it doesn't cost much, and it keeps your air clean. It keeps the bill low, and it does help as well with, smell. That's a good thing to do. And then in regards to your maintenance requests, don't ever hesitate to call us. I know a leaky faucet you may not think is a big deal, but that leak adds up. Because if everybody let their faucet leak a little bit, it would be several $100s a month in extra charges that nobody wants to deal with. So if you have an issue, give me a call. Let me know. We'll get Justin over there and get it taken care of. I know people often want to be helpful and fix it themselves, but then you run into, well, I tried to fix it and it got worse, and now it's a major disaster. And when you do that, they'll want to charge you for that. So let's just call me for everything, and I'll get Justin there and we'll get you all squared away. And I think, one more thing. Weeds. Be sure to check the weeds out around the front and the back of your house, and your apartments, by your air conditioning units outside. Keep those things cold, please. And then also be aware when you get out of your car of trash that may fall out, or receipts that may fall out, or candy wrappers, stuff like that. Keep an eye in your parking lot and help keep stuff picked up, because it is much better for you and your neighbors to keep that stuff tidy and clean. And take pride in where you live, because you guys are awesome, and I'm glad that you're all here with us, and I really miss you and hope to see you guys all soon. So thanks for your time. Bye.
So there's a lot of things that we can be doing right now, even while COVID is still a thing, to be making sure that our life is as good as it can be. We talked a little bit about nutrition. We talked about some other aspects of self-care, like reading, or making sure that your place is really clean and that it's a good, friendly place for you to be in, and that you feel good about being home. And we're actually going to do a little presentation on self-care in the next few weeks, so be watching for that. But I know there's a lot of things being said about COVID, and who knows what's true. Like, I don't know. I never thought peppers could cure COVID. Apparently they don't, so that's not even a thing. But a lot of people have a lot of different ideas, and you don't always know what's true, right? So try to go to the source of the best information you can find. For me, I've gone to a website. It's called NAMI. It's the National Alliance for Mental Illness, and they have a lot of good direction on what to do if you're just feeling that anxiety and stress of everything that this season has brought upon us. Sometimes, you really can't eat healthy when you can barely get out of bed. So if you're in that place of just having a really difficult time, there are some numbers that you can call to get help. We're going to list some of those in the description underneath the video, so be watching for that. But that physical part of your health is really important right now. I noticed I was driving by the other day. On Thursdays, the farmers market is right around the corner at the park. And what a great place to go. Of course, you probably wear your mask, even though it's outdoors, because it's hard to social distance. But still, you have the opportunity to get some fresh vegetables and maybe some flowers to brighten up your home. Any number of things that can help you just feel better about the way things are right now. And we all know this is going to pass, so be encouraged. This isn't going to last forever, but we might be feeling the effects of this for even up to a couple years from now. So just be in it for the long haul. Do the best that you can for yourself. If you need some help, be sure to reach out. We're here at Rogue Retreat, Foundations for Recovery. We have peer support, and we're going through the same thing. We're all going through it together, right? And so maybe we can have some suggestions for each other. And I just want you to take care of yourself, eat well, live well, be well, and we'll catch you next week.